he go?
Or what you can do
Take
is
3.
all right.
Take 3. So let's see here. Oh, I'm still off the screen.
Maybe you can just shift your camera to the.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a delay, so I don't even know if it worked.
It still says Jru.
Does it?
Yeah.
I edited that shit.
That's weird.
It's okay. Let's see. I can do it again.
He's in
hit
Japan.
Save. There it is. Gone is Jru.
Yeah. Yay. Bye,
Yeah.
Jay.
Later.
Later, skater.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
we can do it this way, but it's gonna. I just don't understand how to fix this. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what to do.
I'm going to scooch, to the center, even though it
Yeah.
doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it. Like, where does the word resolution? It's like Charlotte says, fix the resolution. I'm like, where do you fix the resolution?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it
Wait,
a
here she
Zoom
goes.
thing?
I don't know.
Anyways, it's Robot and the Bear.
Wait, hold on
I
for a
don't
moment.
even know what episode number it is anymore.
I don't know. I don't know where to do this at anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
think I really
I can't even hear Charlotte. I can't do this with that headset on. So I'll just go with it just like this. Should we just do that?
Let me turn off my sound, the video that I think I was watching our stream for a second to see how it looks. But whatever. How's it going, Eric?
Good, man. Appreciate
it. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Being here, back on the stream.
Yeah, I broke my resolution right after the my first attempt at remember, I think my goal, or I had a goal of like, let's try and do this every other week.
52 episodes a year or something, and it's like, no, not quite.
Look,
but hey,
we
got close. We got close. Yeah, we got close.
Yes,
almost.
Yes, yeah. But like, hey, I was doing some traveling. It's been a busy year.
Looks like you went to Japan.
I did go to Japan. It was my 50th birthday. I can officially join AARP.
Wow. Well, wait, you get discounts on things, don't you?
That's what I heard. I have not officially joined yet. If we have any listeners who know anything about AARP and what it even means, like, I don't even know what. I imagine America is somewhere in one of the A's. Is it retired persons? American Association of Retired Persons?
I have no idea. Maybe. No, but then, I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
retirement isn't 50 anymore. Retirement is.
Yeah, no, isn't it like in America? What is it? This is exactly what they're striking in France all about, right?
I know. And and the funny thing is that I'm going to France next week.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to get like a big like nose full of freaking French trash, apparently, because there's like the garbage strikes going on over there. But yeah, anyways, I went to Japan, and my girlfriend.
Wait, what's it like? First off, sorry about that. You went with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then, but what's it like compared to 2019 or 18 when you last went?
More masks. That's about it. And a wonderfully weak yen, which makes shopping so delightful. But I actually did not like. I usually, in previous trips to Japan, I would bring a couple of like an extra bag or something like that, and I came prepared. I brought an extra bag. I packed my full large suitcase halfway, and I don't know, maybe it's because I turned 50, but like, I just did not buy much.
Whoa, this is happening to you too. Why? So this happened to me too. Somewhere around, I don't know, like going to Japan every year type of thing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, there was a switch that just kind of hit, and all of a sudden, I just stopped buying stuff.
Yeah, no.
Like I would come home and be like, you
buy a couple things, but
right.
not,
but then, yeah, it's
not,
like the younger me would say, I am so disappointed in you. Like all those things that you saw that are rad, you
Yeah.
passed on everything and it wasn't expensive.
Exactly. Exactly. I think part of it is because a lot of these things are now being imported into the United States too. So I'm just like, okay, well, I can get it. I mean, I think I spent like 3,000 yen on candy, which is about like $25.
Right.
And I brought back like probably a 6 or 7 pound bag of candy, you know.
And but there's a lot of joy in that, right? Is that kind of what it is? I mean, you brought candy back, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of joy in that more than
Yeah.
like a lot of other
Well,
things. So,
specifically candy I can't find in the United States yet,
right. But it's
like I
also
bought.
like it's consumable, like it's like something that it's not you're gonna covet it and be like, I'm gonna put this candy on my shelf and not eat it. You're probably gonna eat it all or
Oh,
give it to people and to eat
yeah,
it. But something about it being temporary is actually a really nice thing.
absolutely. To know that like I eventually will like throw this away, or I'll consume it, or I'll flush it down the toilet in a different form, and it'll be gone from my life, but the memories will live on forever.
See, you have turned 50. Like you're spewing out like old man wisdom right now. You no longer go to Japan and need to buy things and bring them home. You now you make a little mental note, and you're
Mhm.
happy. You're like, I'm good.
Oh,
Used to be
yeah,
in what's that? In the
yeah,
past,
no,
you'd be like, I gotta get it. I gotta take this home. I need this. Right now, it's like, no, I'm good.
I think I'm good. I
Yeah,
think I'm good. Yeah. No, I didn't.
yeah.
I bought a pair of like cup noodle Converses. I think that was one of the more extravagant, like Japan exclusive purchases that I made.
You're
Like
gonna wear
they,
that?
oh yeah,
Cool.
because they're not.
Is that because you're? Is it because you're 50 and you don't give a shit?
It's 100%. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like
Right. So you're 50 and you're like, I don't care. I'm just gonna wear a cup of noodle Converse shoes.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're not like garish. All it does
Okay.
is, it's just like a canvas colored Converse with the cup noodle logo like going down, you know, the bottom of it, and then that
Oh.
like, you know, yeah, and then like the tongue has like the nutritional facts.
Oh, okay. I was picturing an all over print of a cup of noodle just blasted.
They have those too, but I didn't really, I like the understated design of that,
Thus,
and
50-year-old
then.
man. The
and,
young you would have got the all over print. Now you're
well,
like, I just want the understated.
well, I mean, like, do you did you never went through like a big extravagant like crazy prints all over the place kind of phase, did you? You were always
No,
understated.
I don't. I'm not into the all over print thing.
I hate that. I hate the I've seen like I think there's a couple of companies that I worked with that like tried doing that and they sent me like samples of like my paintings like printed across on both sides of the t-shirt, and the print goes onto the sleeves and all this shit, and I'm like, no, no, no,
Yeah,
that's not okay. um
yeah. I'm not into that.
I wouldn't like, and yeah, anyways, I'm just not a fan of like, I mean, like, it's like the Kid Robot apparel line. I just saw this guy did a video going like, what happened to Kid Robot, and talking about their streetwear line, and I was like, maybe it was fucking ugly.
It was. I remember it. I mean, it just everyone thought they could do it. It's just like everyone thought it was a bandwagon, right? We could all
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
over prints, just go wild with it. Look like a Skittle. You know what I mean? Like a bag of Skittles, right? It's like it is, right? Just if you
Yeah.
looked at it, just can't colors all over the place. So, what else did you do in Japan?
I ate a lot. I quickly realized by day 2 that the reason why Japanese food is so tasty is because of the high salt content. Like, it got to a point where my fingers were swelling up. Like I couldn't really fully close my hands because the high blood pressure was like getting to my fingers. And so
W-
I found myself drinking a lot of water to flush as much salt out of my system as I could.
So
Uh,
what did you eat that had a lot of salt?
um, I didn't eat anything like super like insane. Like I had like sushi a couple of times. I had like curry once. I had like I think the first night we were there we had okonomiyaki because we stayed in Kabukicho, which in case you're not familiar is kind of like the like when people like see like lots of like photos and videos of tons of Japanese people, you know, like all over the place and lots of lights and lots of businesses. It's usually like Shinjuku. And Kabukicho is kind of like the nightlife district um of that area. At
It's a
least
little
that's the impression I got.
little bit
Yeah.
of red light district maybe too, right? It's kind of all of
Yeah.
that. It's where the yakuza hang out, at least in movies.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
I've seen them in 2019. I saw like Yakuza like kind of, or at least like minions like kind of hanging out in like Kabukicho, but like this time it wasn't like that much,
hmm,
and
they've
I
gone
uh,
underground.
I stayed at a I was looking for a hotel that like would be kind of comfortable, and like conveniently located. And I chose this hotel called Grace City Hotel, and I was like, okay, I sent the link to Rachel, my girlfriend, and showing like, oh, this is where we're staying. And then I looked again, and I found out, oh shit, it's the fucking Godzilla hotel. Have you seen the photos of?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so it's
just see
got
a God's. Yeah.
like a 1-to-1 scale Godzilla. It's like freaking like 10 stories tall. And so I got to like, see that every morning. Like I looked out my window and it had these weird window. The hotel room was tiny. It's, almost like a business hotelish kind of vibe about it. And I looked out my window and you could just look down and there's Godzilla. And then you look out and you see like a view of a pretty cool view of Tokyo. But I don't know, like I did things that like because so my girlfriend Rachel works kind of in food, and she's like a writer, but she's also a chef and everything. So we did a lot of like food related stuff, which is basically what I'm more interested in these days anyways. Like I just want to like eat and eat well. And yeah, it was but for some reason like I didn't eat. I was wondering whether or not like the swelling was an elevation thing, but I went to Mexico in January, which we didn't get to. And Mexico City is a notoriously
Elevated.
elevated
Yeah.
city, and I didn't have the same kind of issue. I didn't have
Wow.
any like swelling or anything, and I don't know. It was yeah, Japan's great. I recommend everyone.
What was the best thing you ate there?
Geez. That's so well we went to a pretty like, like fancy sushi dinner for my birthday,
Ooh, cool.
and it was great, but I don't know whether or not it was the atmosphere or if it was, just maybe because there was a language barrier. Like we got like stuffed into the gaijin room, and
Oh no.
and obviously the sushi chef was a young guy and he couldn't really like speak English. And so like it was like, I mean, like, it was cool, but like I wouldn't say it was the most memorable experience that
Mm.
I had. Like one of the things that like like Rachel and I just we went back twice for was a place was this thing called Iyoshi Cola. It's in Harajuku, and it's just this weird handcrafted soda thing. and like, they would have like tiny particles of like the fruit and the spices and stuff like that they use to flavor the soda in there. And like it comes kind of like packaged in like this, they serve it to you in like this like resealable Capri Sun style bag. And we loved it so much. I actually bought like a bottle of the syrup. um
Oh wow. So
uh,
it's a soda. It's like a
it's a
drink.
soda. Yeah.
So is that going to replace boba one day here? Is that going to make it?
I
Because I
don't
don't think that
know.
exists here.
No, it doesn't. There's only two of them in Japan.
Wow.
And we went to the one in Harajuku. We tried waiting in line for this like very celebrated like soba place in Harajuku, and we were like, it was the first time I think ever where I got so frustrated with the line that I said, "Fuck this! I've got my pride,"
Wow.
and I fucking like,
Oh, the AARP is happening. You lost the patience.
yeah,
Younger Luke would just wait in that line.
hour and a half. I waited for an hour and a half, and I
Uh-huh.
was an eighth in line.
Wow.
Oh, and by the time I left, there were still 6 people in front of me.
Oh, my soba's a fast food too. It's like
Yeah,
it's not slow
yeah.
unless
Apparently,
you're watching them. You're watching them shit out the noodles or something. I don't get it.
the chef grows his own buckwheat. He mills his own buckwheat. He fucking does all this shit with his own buckwheat. And I yeah, I couldn't I couldn't hang it. I couldn't take it anymore.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. An hour and a half and only 2 people left.
Well, they also took like, I think, take
That's
you have to
crazy.
they have a weird reservation service that like we're not familiar with, and they just like
Right.
let all these other people in ahead of us, like, and we
Right.
showed up like half an hour before it fucking opened. And I was just
Wow.
like, yeah, I said fuck this. And then we ate pizza, and it was excellent because
Pizza.
like
Japan pizza is always good.
when Japan tries to take pizza seriously, they do a very good job of it. Like, it was, the place had a weird name, but it was named after the fact that like their dough is fermented in this underground area of the restaurant for like 2 days, and it has this weird name for what the technique is. And they had a wood grilled pizza, and it
Yeah,
was
sounds good.
it was delicious. It was delicious.
I'm sure it's amazing.
Yeah.
Good. So
And
did you do anything art related in Japan? I mean, I saw you hanging out with Sofubi people, right?
yeah, I ran
I
into a bunch
saw
of
that.
friends. I went to Mori Art Center.
Okay.
And that was the only art thing I did. And literally, like, the day after I left was like the Tokyo Art Fair.
Oh
So
wow.
I kind of wish that I could have seen that, but whatever.
So did you didn't bring back a suitcase of Sofubi?
I got a couple of pieces.
Okay.
They were like they're mostly gifts. So
Okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
I'll next time I see you, you'll give me my gifts. Thank you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Gifts.
I brought you that Pocky, man. I
I got candy. I was just Sofubi's a little cooler.
Mm.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I then
Sounds good.
yeah,
Sounds amazing.
yeah. Yeah, I
All
wanted
good.
to. I met up with I met up with Don. Don is always
Sure.
fun to hang out
Data
with.
dub.
Don
Yep.
Dated Up. He was on a previous guest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then met up with like the Tokyo fashion people. They're people that I met the first time I went to Tokyo, and they do street fashion photography. They're like a couple that I guess were from San Diego and moved down there.
Long time ago.
A while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tim and Molly. They're wonderful.
I think I met them
and,
I think a long time ago.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah, they know who you are.
Yeah.
They know who you are. And
I think I met them I'm literally maybe 15 years ago.
But yeah, and so I went to the Mori Art Center, which is in Roppongi, and they have like, I think in March or February they always have like an exhibition of new contemporary Japanese artists. And I think the one piece that really kind of stuck out in my head was there's this room, and you see all these like pieces of art like in the back, and then 3 pedestals kind of around the front, and it has like an Amazon moving machine that's programmed to swap, you know, like the pieces in the front out with pieces in the back, and it's kind of like
Wow.
this exploration of, you know, technology and, you know, I guess transportation, and I don't know, whatever. It was pretty funny. And then, you know, the view from there up that building is always amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Wow.
and
Sounds
yeah,
good. And then
yeah,
you're going to Mexico. No, no, no. I'm sorry. You're going to Paris. You're going to
yes.
France in what, 4 days, 5 days from now?
There's on Thursday. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
yeah.
World traveler, man.
Yeah, and then it's me shutting in for until August, working on my solo show. So,
Wow. A giant
um,
robot. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But that's amazing. Like you go to Japan and then Paris, like back to back, basically.
yeah, that's how I'm going to fix my jet lag. My sleep is a complete a complete fucking mess right now. Such a
Yeah.
fucking mess. Like, I think I slept like 11 hours today for some reason. I don't know why my body wanted 11 hours of sleep, but it wanted 11 hours of sleep. And I kind of hate the fact that, because I was like prepared to like get up a little bit earlier today and like get a bunch of stuff done, and then like get on the podcast and, you know, get, you know, done with
It's
it
all
pretty
good.
early. But yeah,
You
didn't
just woke
happen.
up. It's okay. You just woke up. I
I,
get it.
I
Amazing. So and then before this, you went to Mexico City, and that was also a vacation kind of a thing.
So I had a friend, some friends, Daniela and Carlos, who were supposed to get married in Mexico City, and I looked at it as like an opportunity to just go out to Mexico City and also to celebrate, you know, their union. But unfortunately, they had to postpone it till October because of, um, I guess there was some issues, um, immigration and stuff like that. And but we had bought tickets, and so it was just kind of like, all right, let's go to fucking Mexico anyways. And
Wow.
I got to celebrate Chinese New Year in in
Mexico.
Mexico. There's a very, you know, funny, they had like paper rice hats, you know, like, you know, the rice picker hats, um, like all over the place. But
Did they parade you because they're just like, oh,
it's like, oh my
legit,
god,
legit,
this is for you,
legit,
dude.
and they just what carried you like you got to crowd surf. There's just like, oh, the
It was
greatest.
a Ferris Bueller's Day Off kind of situation. I read, you know, I sang "Twist and Shout" on a
Oh,
parade
on
full
the
of.
on the float, they're just like, oh my god, the Chinese guy. It's Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. We have our
Twist
Chinese
and
guy.
shout.
We, we have our Chino. He's here.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, but
no,
we basically I
that's
saw the
cool.
like the pyramids, the that
Wow.
you
Yep.
know, those Aztec-y, like those pre-Aztec, because they're not Aztec. I know that. I learned that there. Um,
So did
pyramids.
aliens make those, or
Mm,
what do you think now?
no, I think
Just
that
slaves to some kind of ideology, right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. But they're beautiful. They're cool, and
How do they carry that shit up the hill though to make a pyramid? They don't
uh,
even have they don't have tractors or
you know,
tools.
when you have enough people fucking doing shit, you can fucking do it. It's
Oh, let's get 1,000 people with a rope to lift this thing up. I
e-
got you.
exactly, you know,
I
like
mean,
what,
maybe,
you
right?
know, like you know, what's stopping them? And
Yeah.
I had probably the most extravagant meal of my entire freaking life, um in
Mexico
in
City?
Mexico City. Yeah,
What did you have?
I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but like it was a tasting menu kind of thing. Like,
Was
I
it
don't know,
famous? Like a
15 course.
well-known
Yeah,
place?
it's a pretty well known place in Mexico City. And it's
Is it the woman who did the Noma thing from, was it like the
no, it wasn't a
one?
woman. It
No.
wasn't a female chef, but
Okay.
it was. I think it's like the seventh highest ranked restaurant in the world, apparently, but it's not
Wow.
on Michelin because Michelin doesn't like Mexico for some reason. and
because it's in Mexico.
well, yeah, because in Mexico.
No Michelin tires. The cartels blocked it.
Really?
No, I'm just making that up. It's a good fiction. The
That's pretty
cartels are
good.
like no Michelin
No
tires. So
Michelin.
no,
Yeah.
no. Anyways, I wonder what the restaurant is. It's like one of those things that I feel like I might have seen or heard of, type of thing. You know, like a YouTube clip videos of a special restaurant. But that sounds good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
let me see, Mexico
So
City.
I'm guessing you didn't eat tacos.
I did eat tacos.
You didn't eat an enchilada. Did you eat an enchilada?
Did not eat an enchilada.
Did you eat a burrito?
Did not eat a burrito.
Okay. So were the tacos good, or were they like what you get here?
The taco. Okay, well, the one thing that I learned about Mexico City that kind of blew my mind was that the restaurant was called Quintanil.
Quintanil. Okay.
And it's yeah, the food was insane.
Wow.
But quesadillas in Mexico City do not contain queso.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
What's in there?
just meat or like vegetables.
So it's a tortilla
that's
with
folded over and grilled on both sides. You know,
and there's
with
no cheese in
a filling, but no cheese.
So it's just a bunch of vegetables and meat that just do that. I mean, when you turn it sideways, does it just all fall right out then?
No,
Like,
no.
how is it
because
stuck in there?
They usually make it with like kind of a raw tortilla, like raw masa. Yeah.
So it's all like melted in there.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I was like, this is great, because sometimes you don't want, like, I'm always apprehensive of ordering a quesadilla in Los Angeles because of the cheese content. It's just too much cheese sometimes.
Yeah. Just make it at home.
Yeah. That's what I do. That is what I do. But like, I had the quesadilla out there and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, where's the cheese? And they're like,
wow.
And my friend who I met a collector out there, and he was like, no, they don't have cheese in Mexico City. Maybe in like the north or the south, but for some reason Mexico City, no queso in the queso.
Yeah. Shit. So, did you eat a tamale?
I'm
asking you the basics because I don't know. I'm like wondering if it's going to be better, but that's interesting. We already learned. We just learned. Quesadillas have no cheese queso. In Mexico City.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Mexico
queso.
City. Yeah. And I had to think about it. I was like, well, quesadilla is spelled with an A after Queuesa, and queso is Queso. So maybe they mean something
not
different.
The same thing. Oh, it's a male and female version.
Is it?
I'm just kidding too. I'm kidding.
I'm wondering if like if anyone
I'm ruining
in the chat.
I'm fetishizing my only knowledge of like Spanish. It's like, you know, there's puto and a puta, right? Queso and a quesa. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. You know,
I'm just playing. I don't know shit.
K-sex. But anyways, so yeah, Mexico City is great. It's I do not recommend staying in the city center. That was kind of like, you know, my first time traveler mistake. I was like, oh well, I guess we need to stay near the city center, and I found this great hotel, fantastic hotel, with a balcony that looked into the Zocalo, which is the public square out there. And I will never stay there again. Not because the hotel and the hotel service was great. The hotel service was wonderful. But like, it's just not my kind of location.
Was it like a financial district or something?
No, it was kind of like it was just basically a tourist zone.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, it's either because that's like a place where you don't want to stay, right? A tourist zone, but also like going to like some financial district would just be the shittiest place to stay too.
Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely.
I did that in Korea. When I saw James Jean's exhibition, the museum was in like a financial district. So I was like, okay, staying at the hotel that's right next to it, and then you realize, oh, this is a completely like, it's totally a financial district. There's nothing interesting there. Except for the museum, maybe, right?
Right.
And everything cool is somewhere far away. So,
yeah,
yeah. Then touristy stuff would be the next crappy thing to be doing too. It's like the polar opposite, but they both suck.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I think I've made that mistake twice now. Like I stayed in the city center in Mexico City, and I stayed in fucking Shinjuku, and
Yeah. I don't
you know,
like staying in Shinjuku either if I can avoid it, but it's a huge place. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. If you just don't know, just go for it. I mean, you can always get a train out of Shinjuku, but
well, the problem
yeah,
is like, okay, and going back to Japan, like the problem with Shinjuku is Shinjuku Station.
yeah, it sucks. I hate it.
Sucks.
I hate it. It's the biggest train station in the world, perhaps. Something like there's 100 exits, maybe or more, and it's just I hate that station.
Oh my God, it was like I mean I figured it out after like navigating it for like 5 days, or 4 days, but like, oh my God, it sucks
Yeah,
so much.
I hate
Shibuya
it.
Station sucks. Shinjuku Station sucks. But like,
Shibuya Station I like better than Shinjuku, but I don't like Shibuya Station, and I don't even like Shibuya anymore, for that matter. I'm kind of I'm kind of over it, but
like
I
it's
used
one
to.
of those things you kind of have to do. It's like you got to
Yeah,
fucking like do the
I spent
scramble at least
I've
once.
spent on one trip I'll do it, but I mean, I used to spend all day in Shibuya, then spend a second all day in Shibuya. Now I'm like, I don't want to go there. There's so many other things to do besides Shibuya. Just
Yeah.
get lost
Well, I
there. Yeah,
mean, oh, I went to
over
I
it.
did go to an art toy store, an art toy show in Shibuya.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there was like a Mazinger and Devilman like toy show thing.
That
And
sounds good.
yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Awesome.
Like I am a Go Nagai fan, so
Yeah,
it was
that's more AARP talking right here. More another AARP talking point. Yeah, I'm into this thing that came out in 1974. It's the best.
I think it's
Very
72
cool.
actually.
Oh yeah, very cool. Either way.
Yeah. So
Yeah, all I know is
but
the stuff I like is so old that if you go to Mandarake, they don't even have it anymore. You know what I
or they
mean?
have it in that one like special room in the I went to Nakano Broadway too, of
Yeah, the
course.
super old section, but like it's all the 90s stuff was just repopulating all of most of the cabinets. I was like, oh my God, it's all 90s and later, right? But the stuff
Right.
that I used to go like 10 years ago was the hot stuff, was all that stuff from like the 80s, and you know what I mean? Now it's like
Yeah.
less cabinets, just one cabinet. It used to be like all sprawled everywhere.
That's because because the Chinese bottle that shit up.
That's
Chinese
what I've
people like
heard. I've heard that too, and then I realized too, though, it's time. It's like the people shopping for that shit are probably gonna buy the '90s stuff.
yeah. There's
That's
a
gonna be more popular.
there's a Mandarake store called Mandarake Cocoa, which is in Akihabara. Stop by there too, and it's like it's exclusively nothing but soft vinyl Sofubi
Oh wow.
stuff.
Oh
And they
yeah,
have
Candy mentioned that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we I stopped by there this time and looked around, and it's like lots of derpy looking fucking robots and stuff like that. Derpy in the most charming and collectible kind of way, of course.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
but yeah, Japan's great. I love Japan. We saw like random blooming like cherry blossoms. It's like that one
Just
like
starting.
just starting. Yeah.
Just starting. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Very
so
cool.
and I drank like bottled coffees like every fucking day. That's kind of like, I mean, the coffee's crap. Let's just like fucking like say it. But its convenience is amazing. You go down to the 7-Eleven and there's a hot like shelf with hot bottles of coffee for like 120 yen, which is less than $1 right now. You can just grab one.
It's like 90 cents.
Yep, and you buy it and you just hit the road.
Yep.
And that's the thing.
Did you try? Okay, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I was just saying, like, the yen is so weak, but like I came home with so little. what
Well,
is
you
wrong?
got the experience,
What is
But
what
did-
is what,
Did you have any craft coffees? Like the new, like, did you see any places like that where it's like the pour over thing going on? Just
Yeah.
the next level of coffee, because it's a little behind. What we have here, right? It's behind.
It's
Like they're just
it's funny because Japan started that trend. They started that like high end pour over.
but
thing.
really small. I think like Terada is just like for example, he's into drinking like uh French press older coffee, right? Older style coffee that's like kind of dark roasted,
Oh, really?
like a French roast
Oh, yeah,
coffee,
French
right? But
roasts
like
and
the pour over stuff, it's got a whole different vibe. It's totally a different flavor, than what he would be into.
there's a there I stopped by a cafe in Nakano.
Oh, I see.
They had a cute little cafe in one of the spots with like, everything was like very warmly lit,
Yeah,
and they had
it's
great desserts, and I had
cool.
a cup of coffee
It's
there.
starting to happen. Like more and more, there's like all these little coffee places in Japan that when I went, I went to like 3 different ones, for example, that were like, you could tell they're new. They're just
Mm,
like they're new places, and
mhm.
they were all pretty good.
Yeah,
They're all really
I don't
good.
even know where to find like the old um like Japanese cafes.
I went to one
Re-
where an older lady made me a siphon coffee,
oh,
and it was older. Yeah, a much older like cafe. And
right.
I went in there, and I was like, "There's what 4 seats?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm one of the 4 people who are gonna drink a coffee." And she made me a siphon coffee, and it was really, really nice. I was surprised. I was like, "Oh my god, it's like this older lady
But
doing it."
aren't there even older than ones than that like,
I'm sure, yeah. And I don't know
yeah.
where those are, but this one was probably around for like 50 years or something. I mean, there's probably
Wow.
ones that are around like 70 years, right? Like way
Yeah.
older. This one is
Yeah.
around for like 50 years, I think, or 40 years, 50, something like that.
Yeah, something that came
Yeah.
well, at least came around in the 1960s or like
Yeah.
50s, right
This
after
looked
the.
that old, but this place I went to looked that old, but it wasn't that old.
Mm,
It might have been around from like the 80s or something,
yeah, I think
90s, something like that.
well,
Yeah.
the one I went to had that like 80s kind of feel to like, or even like I think it was trying to go for like a 70s kind of feel to it, like what's just
Yeah.
the older furniture and the like the dark wood and
Yeah.
whatever. But I mean, it was in fucking Nakano Broadway, so
Uh,
fucking like how old could it really
but
be?
some of those places are probably really old, right? Like if you go to those, what are they called, Shoten guy? They're like those weird malls in Japan that you walk
Mhm.
through. Some of those places are ancient. They've been there a long time.
I mean, like not
Just
shopping
like
arcade, like
yeah, like a shopping arcade, like the Nakano Broadway. But there's other ones. There's
they're
ones
all
that are
over the place.
smaller.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, some of those have been around for like they've been around from the 60s. So you might find like a business in there that's been there this whole time. It's
Mm,
totally doable. It's totally possible because I've seen some. I've walked through some that are really off the beaten path, and I'm walking. I'm like, oh, this is like not popular.
mhm.
There's no tourists, and the businesses look ancient, and I'm totally unloved. I was just like, but it's for locals. It's made for locals, not for tourists. So I'm
Right.
judging it based on you know like hype beast just like lining up or something. There's not. It's just
Right.
for the locals.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, those still exist. I just don't know where they are anymore.
Yeah.
I have to get lost to find it.
Yeah. You haven't been there back there in a while, have you?
I
Oh,
went last in 2019, but I plan on going this year. I have to get over my I have to get over my elevator phobia and my
oh yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff. It's gotten even worse, so I'm starting to work on it actually,
Yeah.
which is absolutely awful.
Oh, really? Like, are
Yeah.
you? I mean,
I worked on it today.
are you doing it on your own, or are you working with a
Uh,
therapist?
no, I'm working with a therapist, and it's called what's it called? Wait, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
So it's a thing. The person that I'm working with says she has 100% success rate.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful.
yeah, and I guess time isn't really what I should be worried about, but more so, it's just steps working on it, and it's awful.
Oh,
Like,
really?
oh, because you have to basically get these anxieties triggered, and then you have to like in a controlled setting, and then you
Mhm.
have to like try to deal with it. It sucks. It sucks.
Oh
I mean,
God.
like it's
I can't
so
even
bad.
imagine. I can't even
Oh, it's
imagine.
so bad. Even today, I totally failed today. Like I feel awful. I'm gonna go back to it after our podcast. But
Hmm.
yeah, there's a closet that bothers me at my house. Didn't know, right? And like I can go in that closet and I'll just feel like shit. I'm just like, oh, this is awful. Like I shut the door and I'm like, oh, this is fucking awful. And like
Do you? Oh,
today,
man.
5 seconds, and I was like, I gotta open the door.
Oh
Five, I
wow.
only lasted 5 seconds in a fucking closet. Can that's really upsetting when it comes down to it. I'm like, I haven't gotten better than that. And I know it's different every day. Like it'll
Yeah.
be ups and downs. And today was a bad day. Like I walked in and I was just like, nope, I can't do this. Like I was
Oh
just felt
wow.
this anxiety, like quickly like descending. And I'm like, and you know what it's going to feel like when it gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. It does get better, but it takes time.
Wow.
So yeah, but I could just, once I start feeling it, I'm like, oh, it's going to get worse and I'm going to feel worse. And I don't want that today. So I just stepped out and I was like, oh, I
Do you
pieced
think
out in
this anxiety was something that
like
you
5
kind of
seconds.
had like this entire time and that just kind of grew and grew and grew, or was
Um,
it
so I learned from the therapist, the MRI triggered it. I had an MRI and
right?
I tripped out after about 5 minutes or something.
Hmm.
I found out from the therapist that MRIs is a starting point for a lot of people. Like you're fine before it, the MRI will trigger this, and now you're gonna have a problem. It's the MRI that does it. So it's not there
Wow.
already because I mean I've been in elevators, I've been in all these things were not a problem until the MRI.
Are
So it's in
elevators a
me, I guess.
problem? Are
Yeah, I can't I
elevators?
can't I can't go in an elevator.
Oh
I haven't
wow.
been in I went in an elevator. What I can remember, I went once this year, earlier in the year, and I went once last year, and that's it. I
Are
went
there
in two
like breathing
elevators.
exercises and stuff like that you can do
Yep,
to calm your
yep,
anxiety?
yep. And
Yeah.
if I can't handle it, I can't handle it. Then I'm just like, forget it. I don't do it. But yeah, I have to get over it and figure out how. And recently I went to the Getty and I couldn't ride the tram. There's a tram that goes up the
Yeah,
hill.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was first in line and I'm just sitting there going, okay, this is no problem. And it didn't even occur to me that there's a problem. And then like I'm waiting and I'm like, God damn it, when's this tram gonna open the door so I can get the fuck up this hill? And I waited and waited and waited, and all of a sudden this anxiety came over me, and I was like, oh, I can't ride the tram. You
Oh,
know?
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I couldn't ride the tram, so I had to walk up the hill.
Oh,
But I
it's not,
almost beat
unfortunately,
the.
it's not that
I'm
bad of a walk, but
No, it's 3/4 of a mile, and I almost beat the tram up the hill. So literally that's a problem. And so a tram is, there's like a lot of things that trigger it. But like I've had some good moments this week where I used the closet that I have a problem with, and I was in there for like the 20 minutes and I didn't have a problem. And then today it was like 5 seconds or 10
But I
seconds, and
mean,
I was
were
like,
you
I'm out.
using what is the difference between using the closet, like actually like using the closet versus like knowingly putting yourself into the closet in
That's
order
what you're
to,
doing. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm putting myself in there to like try to have a trigger anxiety, that's what I'm going in the closet to do.
I
So
don't
then
even know how
but
to.
I want to trigger that anxiety, and then I want to just not leave and stay in there and go through that anxiety from, the bell curve, right? It'll go up and then it'll come down. So I'm like, I want to wait till it comes down so I can like understand what that feels like. But
Right, right.
today it was just the bottom just starting to go up, and I was like, no, I can't do it. And then I pieced out.
Oh,
Because if it gets bad, oh man, my blood pressure will go up, and of course it's like, oh my chest will hurt like none
right,
other.
right.
I'll like be like, dude, my chest hurts
Mhm.
that bad. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really fucked up. So I'm got to deal with that. Now, this is crazy. It's like I feel like I should sue this MRI company. Like what the, like. But I just finding out that a lot of people, this is how it starts for a lot of people, is absolutely wild. I was
That
like,
is wild.
really? And they don't tell you this ahead of time. Like I didn't know.
Right.
Had I known, I mean, I don't know what I would do about it if I'd known, but it's one of those things that I was like, whoa, like this is a problem for a lot of people, and it
Hmm.
starts with an MRI. Crazy, right?
I'm glad
Yeah.
that I currently have passed the MRI hump. I've had a couple of them,
Yeah,
just because
you're probably all right then,
I'm probably
because
all right.
but
I
I
got
just don't
lucky,
know anybody else that had this problem. But
but apparently it
you know,
happens. I mean,
yeah, they said that this is not that uncommon. And but yeah, it's just I don't think I'm worse off or bad off as others, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little worried about like what if I can't get in a plane? I don't know yet.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
No,
find out. But there's other ways to get around all this. I mean, you can carry some little pill, little magic pill.
right. Get a
So
little,
there's things that I can do.
yeah, you
You
get
know,
like some anti-anxiety medication
I,
and stuff like that. But
yeah, there's that, and yeah, it's all. I'm working on it though. That's the whole thing. Like
yeah, yeah.
every week, like I mean, yeah, four
Wow.
four or 5 times a week, I'm trying to like trigger this thing. But today was fucked up.
I'm
Like
glad that
man,
you're
like
seeking.
10 seconds. So like 10 seconds. It's like that's all I
Hey,
lasted. total fail.
Yeah, but
But
like,
I'm gonna
how long have you been working on it
just
on
1
the
week,
treatment? Yeah, so
1
like
week. But
that's
yeah,
it's only been a week. Come on, like it's
yeah,
these
but
things
still,
take
like
time. Like they
I want massive and rapid improvements.
yeah, that's
Anyway, yeah. Oh wait, Rachel wrote
mm,
the pizza in Japan was called kevelos.
yeah,
K E
not a
V
Japanese word.
Kevelos. The
Kevelos,
soba
yeah,
was called tamawarai.
yeah,
Tamawarai.
yeah,
The
yeah.
good udon place was called Menchirashi.
Oh, I forgot about the fucking udon place.
Menchirashi. And the
Yeah, that
Mexican restaurant is called, yeah,
Quintanil, Quintanil.
Quintanel.
Yeah,
And the soba was Iyoshi, 10 out of 10.
soba,
Some
Yoshi,
so soda. I'm sorry, soda
soda,
place was
Yoshi soda,
Iyoshi.
Yoshi
And
cola,
then the highly overrated sushi place was called Hakoku.
Hakoku. Yeah,
Hakoku. Hakoku. Yep, there you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Everybody, for anyone who's paying attention, who's planning your Japan trip,
yeah.
there's some tips right there.
Yeah. Yoshi Soda, Luke and
Yeah.
Rachel, thumbs it up.
Iyoshi soda. There you go.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
delightful. It was and because it was like it was warm outside, like during the afternoons, and like warm for a cold day, I guess you could say. And
Right.
you drink that thing, and you're just like, holy shit, like this is nuts. Like, like, yeah, loved it. Oh my gosh,
I have no idea, no concept of what that is, so I'm gonna have to look it up online and see what it looks like. Because you went
if
twice.
I am able
You
to
went
save
twice to drink a soda. You went to this place twice to drink a soda.
well,
That's crazy.
mostly because we were there. We were in Harajuku. We were like,
But it's enough to you're talking about a soda. You know what I'm saying? It's like I drink a boba, it's good. I might not even talk about it later. Like,
right.
I
Well,
went to this and it was a really good boba, man. It's like I don't think like there's a roof, a ceiling to how good the greatest boba in the world is probably not. I might not even have a conversation about it later.
no, fuck no. It's because
Yeah.
fucking all boba does is fucking they take the shittiest, cheapest tea they could fucking like come up with, and drown it
Yeah.
out and fucking sugar. You don't need good tea to fucking make good boba. I mean, you could try to, but it's pointless.
But this soda place has got to be something else.
It was something else. It was refreshing.
Okay.
It was
Right.
it was like the pick me up that I needed in a
All right.
as we like walked through fucking Japan.
Iyoshi soda.
Iyoshi soda. I love it.
How big was it? Was it a little tiny thing, or do you get a big
I
old?
will
jar?
show you here. You know what? I could text you a picture.
I mean,
and
how good can a soda be? I'm still like I just don't get it.
yeah, no, it's tough to wrap your head around. I'm sorry for being difficult. But let me see. Japan. I loved it so much that I fucking posed with pictures with it because it was so fucking good.
What?
I didn't.
Did you?
I didn't, no, I just had photos. We just took some photos, but we did take videos of
This great soda place.
of the soda place because like they hand pull the syrup and then freaking
hand pull a syrup.
Yeah,
I mean, what is that?
Well, like they flip on a thing.
You mean they just
with a hand?
they scoop up the honey out of the jar, throw it in there.
No.
They put the water in, and then they stir it.
Kind of.
It's as if they don't make the syrup in front of you, I guess. But it's a custom soda place.
No.
Gotcha.
It's a custom soda, and they have like a milk version, and they have
wow.
The udon. I forgot about the udon. The udon was so good. There's another Harajuku udon place because we tried going to the soba place twice, and which is
you went to some place called Menchirashi. Menchirashi, yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny because Tokyo's known for not being a good udon town, like actually. Well, but I mean, you can have a good udon place, but in general, people say, "Oh yeah, the udon in Tokyo sucks." It's kind of the going thing, right?
I did not know that.
It's yeah, I've heard that a lot. But I mean, there's got to be good places, no doubt, right? But
yeah, there's a line for this place when we went there.
It must be good.
And fucking, so we got in line, and it was great. It was.
What was it? Tons of Americans everywhere you went, or what was that like?
There were Americans. There was tons of Chinese people.
Oh, so the Chinese tourism's opened up then. Because for
No,
a
they're
while
still
it was
testing.
China.
They were I mean they have to be tested at the fucking airport.
So, I see. But then there's
Yeah.
still a lot of Chinese tourists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was-
Wow.
I heard a lot of Chinese being spoken.
Mm.
That's what it came down to.
Did
And
you
the
act like you were
hotel.
Chinese? Were you just like, I'm not Chinese, bro?
I'm not Chinese. I'm just yeehaw. I'm an American.
Don't box me in with them. I'm not like that.
I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, when I went, the tourists from China were often the worst tourists, I guess you would say.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
they would walk around with selfie sticks everywhere, selfie sticks, and
Yep.
oh man, it was awful.
Chinese tourists are notoriously rude and just they just don't care, So it's real crazy entitlement issues.
Wow.
And so, like to be, and the last thing I want to be is associated with them, even though I've got my own weird fucking entitlement issues and fucking, cultural insensitivities.
Sure. We're American. We're bad too in some other ways, but
other ways, yes.
yeah, and probably
Some
in some
better than
countries we're
others.
the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
oh well.
What can you do?
Yeah.
What's the time looking like?
I think we're at 50 something.
All right.
Yeah.
We should wrap it up.
Sure.
Trying to cut it down to a nice, clean 1 hour, podcast. But how was your show last night? You had a show open last night?
It's called Sitting Outside 2. It's plein air painting, so it's outdoor paintings.
Mhm.
And the fun part about it is most of these paintings technically are supposed to be done in like 1 or 2 hours, maybe.
Mm.
So, I mean, you can crank out a bunch of paintings if you're diligent about actually doing it, right?
Right.
But part of it is that's interesting is there's vantage points, right? Everyone's kind of looking for the best vantage point of, let's say, a subject like, oh, downtown LA. What's the best way to paint downtown LA? Where is the spot to paint from that nobody else has seen or would think of, right? And then, you could, the spot where you could put a bridge, buildings, maybe you see some cars or streets and, lines of the streets. And it's kind of interesting because that's part of the hunt is finding that spot and where the other painter won't know. They're going to be like, where did you go? Because otherwise there's so many of the same things have been painted. Even in that exhibition at Giant Robot, you can see so many paintings are similar to each other. I'm like, oh, these two went to the same place and painted. So it's obvious that they're in the same area. But that's kind of the fun part too, is thinking about that. There's a little more pride than you would think.
Yeah, I didn't. That's one of the things that, like, I was thinking about while I was looking at the show last night was, well, yeah, you can't just like drop your ass down anywhere and do this. You gotta like,
yeah, no, I mean you can kind of, but they're just all like, there's a little bit of competitiveness in there too because they're trying to find something that the other painters don't have, and but it's just cool because I think this has like, is it 17 artists or something, and all different styles, but some of them are kind of similar. I mean, there's a similar style, I guess, because they use gouache. A lot of times it's gouache, so there's a similar technique to it all.
Yeah, there was a huge crowd
and time, right? The time is the key. Like you have to paint in one sitting is the whole thing. You're supposed to be done with that painting while you're there. So yeah, the gouache gets used and it got to dry kind of fast, and there's layering to it, but that's what makes some similarities in people's work, I think, is because you're using the same technique, and also it's time. You only have like a couple hours because the light will change.
Yeah, well, the light changes every freaking every hour. Like
a key shadow will just be all of a sudden will be gone, and you're just like, oh, I'm painting it with that shadow. Right? So it's just stuff like that. It's just interesting, and it's really neat. So
it was a really different crowd.
Yeah, very animation industry, probably, and yeah, no, it was a really crowded opening.
Yeah,
probably one of the most.
Yeah, I haven't felt that kind of.
It was a rager,
and it was reminiscent of the the dark times.
Yeah, it was a raging opening. So it's one of
Yeah.
those things where it's like, wow, I was proud of it, but it was just like at the same time going, wow, just also an honor, just because people came in numbers.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was I was rushing because last night I went to my buddy Robert Burton's show. He had a museum opening in Oceanside.
oh wow, oh,
Yeah,
it's like almost San Diego.
almost San Diego.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and
So it is San Diego, just
I
about.
went out there like late in the afternoon,
Oh wow.
and the doors open closed at like 7, and got on the road and drove back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get there until like 9:50. I wonder if Eric's like to 8:50. I wonder if Eric's going to close the doors at 9 o'clock.
Raging party.
And
No,
it was raging. I was like, what the
it was
fuck?
even. I mean, then you actually missed when it was even more raging.
Yeah.
I mean, just a little bit earlier, it was even more crowded than when you showed up. It was even more.
Wow.
But yeah, it's all good.
I'm glad I missed that.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. It's just there's a little bit of giant robot love going on still.
Yeah. It was funny.
little.
We had we had an experience with a younger guy. My introduction, me being introduced to him. That was, you made fun of me for that one. That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Why not?
Or it was a younger art. It was me. It was myself and a younger artist at the counter, and then we met the curator of the show, and I think Kate was introducing us, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, hi, nice to meet you, Luke." Oh, okay, and then the younger artist, "Oh my fucking god, it's Bob, it's Eric, right? Was it Eric? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's Eric!
It's Eric Martinez. Eric Martinez. Yeah. He was excited about Eric Martinez, and he was like, so you do art, dude? And he was looking at Luke. You do art? Chinese man? Chinese man, you do art? He was like, it's just funny. Yeah, he was more excited about Eric Martinez.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Eric has
go.
to bust my balls.
It's awesome. Yeah. I was sitting there going, whoa, sign of the times, different era, different people. It's all good.
Different era, different people, which is the reason why I was not
follow you on Instagram. Oh, and what's your Instagram, dude? And you're like, Luke Chu.
Actually, never asked me that question.
He didn't, huh? But it was pretty much like that.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like that's AARP, man.
No,
50.
It's okay.
I'm an old man now. I'm
It's
officially.
okay.
It's the one thing I learned about 50. Like, in the like previous decades, it's like, 30, it's like the new 20, and like 40, it's new 30.
Oh no.
50 is fucking 50.
I have that exact same opinion, and I've said that exact thing. 40 is the 30, but 50 is 50. It's true. Yeah. I actually believe that too. I've said that. 50 is 50.
50 is 50.
It's heartbreaking. Yeah, 50 is 50. There is no 50 is the new 40 or whatever it is. No.
50 is fucking 50.
Yeah.
And on that note, everyone, thank you very much for checking out this episode of Robot and the Bear. We'll try and let's try and get this.
Wait, when do you get back from your next trip?
On the 28th.
The 28th.
Yeah. So that's it's not
not too long. Okay, we'll podcast again when you get back.
Yeah, we'll talk France. I'll talk about all the garbage. I'm gonna. My goal is to take as many pictures of garbage.
Dude, you can come back with all those pictures and make a garbage zine. Garbage of France. It'd just be like, as long as you could tell it's French garbage, it'd be interesting.
Oh my god, that'd be great. Okay.
Garbage of France.
Let's do that.
Parisian garbage.
Parisian garbage de Paris.
Yeah. You got to make some garbage too, though, since you're there, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like you're gonna take a bite of a baguette and just throw it, and then
Let's publish a
make some like Luke Chu garbage. Make a garbage sculpture while you're at it. Jeez. Can you tag garbage? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? If it's garbage. Just walk around tagging garbage, doing your bear heads on all this garbage. Anyway, okay.
That's a great fucking idea.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm going to fucking I'm going to bring a whole bunch of fucking because I've got tons of stickers, like this slap stickers on fucking
Magnum marker. Get that big marker.
I always carry fat markers with me. So I'm going to Like tag garbage.
I mean, tagging garbage, it literally is garbage. So you can tag it. There's no one getting in trouble for tagging garbage.
Then that's a great idea. I'll tag garbage and I'll fucking like photograph it and
I love this. This is awesome.
we'll publish the zine. It'll be
Sounds
great.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a plan. All
Make
right,
your
guys.
mark. All right, everybody.
Thank you very
Take
much.
care. Thank you
Have a
so
good night.
much. All right.